I'll destroy you, Skeletor.
Yeah, right, He-Man, you bumbling boob.
This is getting serious.
This is fun and all, but something's not right.
Yeah, man, I wish they could move like real space barbarians.
Yeah, total lack of articulation really bums me out.
Yeah, man, I wish they made new He-Man toys.
Did somebody say new He-Man?
He-Man?
What the? Modern posing? Retro play?
Look at his muscles. They're glistening.
Go on. Play with me, kids.
Holy Eternian toilet pies. He's gorgeous.
Look out, bumbling boob. I'm gonna straight Van Dam you.
They're so articulate, like real space barbarians. Even the box looks like it's from the 80s, which I totally know, because I'm totally from the 80s.
Here's some accessories for you kids to play with as well. And don't worry, there'll be more where that came from. I got a beat. You kids have fun with your highly articulated Masters of the Universe Origins figures. New from Mattel.
Thanks, He-Man.
I have the power!
New from the Masters of the Universe collection. Other action figures each sold separately. From Mattel.
We have the power! Welcome to another episode of It Crept From Eternia. I am Chris, and with me is Chris. Chris Walk.
Chris Walk is here.
We are here to talk about He-Man once again, the Masters of the Universe, and oh, what a glorious time it is to be a He-Man fan. As we just discussed outside of this, Mr. Chris Walk, it is the 40th anniversary of when Masters of the Universe was created.
We're getting old.
My
It's
God.
amazing. it's like fine wine. Yeah, I just think it's so amazing. 40 years later, that it's still alive and well without that many TV shows to remind people of it. It's one of those crazes and those loves of 80s culture that has continued without much current day influence. We're getting more now, but it really kind of perplexes me sometimes, honestly.
Well, I mean, it's thanks to people like us. You know what I mean? It's thanks to the big kids who
That's right.
didn't want to let it go. And then, of course, it's thanks, like it or not, good or bad, it's thanks to, you know, the Four Horsemen and the Matty Collectors and all that stuff for wanting to keep the line alive and fresh, you know, for the
Agreed.
as far as the action figures were concerned. As we talked about before, Mattel, you know, they tried in the early 2000s. You know, I for us, it worked, but I guess not good enough. So I'm thankful for them to bring it back now, and to really sort of put the focus in both adult and kids' hands, you know, which is what they really didn't do last time, I feel. I really feel like they really just did cater to the folks like us,
Mhm.
The big kids, and gave us something rad again, because clearly little kids weren't getting that stuff. They weren't,
Yeah, everything from Matty Collector was like labeled adult collectible,
Yeah.
so it was definitely for us. And even around the time they do like the commemorative releases of say the 5.5s in the old packaging or whatever they were doing, it still wasn't a huge collectible era.
Yeah.
That has changed in the last 5 years, I would say 10 years, 5 to 10 years. It's become so many more people have got into collecting, and so many more lines have been birthed, and it's just now it's like the golden age, or modern. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm very happy. You and I have been collecting toys for a very long time and been very into it, but I love to see that the culture has evolved, and we're getting more and more cool stuff.
Absolutely. And it to me it seems like this is a success, what they're doing right now, and it can only grow once the shows start coming out from Netflix. Netflix is a real Jesus, like they fandoms now are born on Netflix. You know what I mean? Like they are a home for many new fandoms now, because of the content that they're putting out, the quality of shows they're putting out, and new fandoms are popping up all over the place. And the fact that they're going to be giving us the He-Man that we want, and kids a He-Man that they can get into, is refreshing, and it's awesome. And I think finally they're doing it right. And we will talk more about that a little later. But I wanted to get to something that we talked about in the last episode, which was finally being able to take a look at some of your beautiful, beautiful Masters of the Universe action figures and statues and toys and trinkets and whatnot. And I know you are still you're unpacking your life still out there.
Unpacking for life. Right?
Yeah.
It's an ongoing battle.
Because you do, you newly moved, and you have a store filled, a store's worth of toys that you just sort of got back into your life, which was sitting out here in Rochester, but now out with you in California, and you're unpacking, slowly doing your thing, but you graciously got out some of your master stuff for all of us to take a look at.
I did. I took advantage that day as well to rearrange my warehouse, as I call it, and take photos of stuff that I'll be selling soon. But my dream was always to do shows, and even if I took this stuff to retirement and did shows then, and just become a part of that culture and just geek out, and just really enjoy that. And I don't know what I'm doing quite yet. I know that I'm going to start doing some eBay stuff and other online selling, but I'm just like you said, I'm really just happy to get this stuff back in my hands, and hopefully be able to display some of it soon. As you all see, the warehouse in a few minutes or seconds, or however long it takes me to pull this camera around. So, do you want me to just go?
Yeah, man. Just
all right.
Show whatever you want to show.
So just a disclaimer, I do not know where if I have any vintage. I have like bins of loose toys, like all my old scraps and stuff from toys I try to customize and whatnot. So I didn't really look through those for old vintage stuff. I don't have a lot of old vintage master stuff. I know in a garage sale was sold them at one point, which sadly I would love to start collecting that again. But I'm also a very across the line collector, so I will show everybody things from Pops to Super 7 to Mondo and Mattel. So let's do it. Bear with me, everyone. If you get motion sick from this, I'm sorry. But we are going to try to move around my limited space here. So we did a test run prior to this. So I'll do this nice and slow. All right. So we are going to start with the Tower of Power Lords, as I've been calling it. So I used to be more into pops. I still collect Masters pops depending on the character. But that's kind of slowed down. But I do like this design. It was also during the time when there wasn't too many other ones, other Masters collectibles. So that Skeletor in the middle is the original Skeletor pop, which is one of the more rarer pops from the Masters line. But everything else has kind of come out in the last few years as the popularity of the license has taken off even more. So let's swing around. I'm going to make this kind of like my crane. So it's going to be on my chest. So let's take a look at the Mondo figures.
It's your it's like your beard is looking at things. It's like your beard had eyes.
Oh, we do it like a reveal.
Beard vision. It was beard vision.
Mondo started doing. You're a fan of 1/6 scale figures.
Yeah, these guys are amazing.
They are, and what I love about them is they're actually a little more like action figures than, say, Hot Toys, and they're also cheaper. So these range from 150 to about 175 a piece. They come with a lot of cool swag. So you'll get like these little side characters from the cartoons, or the Cosmic Key came with one of them so they throw all these cool, you know how Super 7 does that stuff. Not Super 7, sorry, I'm going to talk about that in a second. But Mondo was doing that stuff, just kind of throwing in extras that had to do with Masters of the Universe from different aspects of it. So let's see if we can get these. These are my usual desk buddies, my Maddie versus my DC versus Master Universe Skeletor, my Castle Grayskull business card holder, and Mega Block Skeletor is the only Mega Blocks I bought because I feel I didn't want to go down that slippery path. I am a Lego fan, but I had to get the Skeletor. So that was that. And this Skeletor is the opera singing exclusive Skeletor, as you can see. All right, let's go over here. I got my Natty figure poster up just for show. Right here. Oh, shoot. There goes Skeletor. Just some random stuff. Adorbs made by Funko. Just He-Man up at Hellcat. I think I just randomly got that for some reason. Super 7 was doing their reaction figures, so I got the very first wave of those when they came out. We got the Battle Cat from Natty Collector. And then one of my favorite pieces, the Granomir. He's huge and awesome. And I don't think they ever made Granomir in the original Vintage series, did they?
No.
So that's a highly sought after piece. Right there you got what were they? The Powers of Grayskull. So Super 7. These figures are actually unmade by Mattel. They were supposed to come out in the late 80s, you know. They started putting out those dinosaurs, which was part of it. But then these actually never made it, so they took the original designs and they made Hero, such original names, and Eldor. Then I'll just go down here real quick. We have the Master Universe 2000 line. I have most of those loose because I really wanted to take those out of the package at that time and play with them, just like now with the Origins figures.
Yeah.
Much better out of their plastic prisons. Just a quick book. I got this for my family for Christmas. It's the old comic strips. So I'm starting to get those Dark Horse collections. I want to get the mini comics one next.
Yeah.
Just some ones in the package. Matty Collector He-Man, Super 7 Skeletor from when they were doing the throwbacks. And then, of course, some in the package 2000s. Right above there, we have these are the Ultimates in front, the animated Ultimates, and behind them, the regular Ultimates. And so because I had missed a lot of the Matty Collector stuff, I was happy that Super 7 actually went back and did it. I was collecting DC Universe Classics at the time, and it just wasn't good, not good for the wallet. So I had to kind of just be like, I had to make a choice. And maybe I didn't make the right choice, but whatever. Super 7 also picked up the Filmation series from Matty. I didn't get those, but I started to get these as they came out. But then Super 7 stopped producing due to the new Matty license, I believe, getting back into it. That's the Sorceress. And then this is kind of my favorite stuff. Four Horsemen, who also has done Matty Collector and so much more for Master Universe, including those 2000 figures and more. They have their own thing called Mythic Legions, which is a medieval Lord of the Rings-esque toy line that their own IP. They kickstarted it. It's so popular now, and they do all these Masters of the Universe homage figures. So I have Panther and Battlecat as warriors, Evil Lyn, He-Man, and Skeletor. And I just love these because they're cool looking, and I love that Four Horsemen did that. So
Yeah.
That's it for this side. I do want to show you guys this. This is there's that beard again. This is my setup on my top of my desk. Let's get a little closer. Just the origin stuff.
That Grayskull Classics is beautiful.
Right. So I love this. It's crazy. I was just mentioning that Mega Bloks thing because Mega Bloks made a Castle Grayskull. It's like $200-something.
Yeah.
But I paid like something like $300 for this back in the day. So I'm just like, wow, everything has gone way up in price, and it's insane. But they work really well with this. I do have the Origins Grayskull in order. It's going to be smaller, of course, and more, like the old one. So I do like the fact that I have this set up because I think it goes really well. So there's that Sky Sled you got me.
Yeah.
It's not being opened. So not yet. And then that's pretty much it for that. Let me try to readjust here. Not making too much noise. All right. So that was fun. Oh shoot. Are you there? Hello?
Huh?
You might have to edit this part now. Oh, I can't get through. Ah, shoot.
I will
There we
edit
go.
all that.
Oh, there we go. I'm back. I'm back. If they go over to Eternia real quick.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I was happy that I had it actually, like I said, it really made me excited to get rid of some stuff, make more room, and be able to display my things finally. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to more Masters of the Universe Origin figures.
Yes. Which I do want to talk about.
Yes.
So like it was very bizarre, but so wave 1 is basically everywhere. Everywhere I've gone, it's everywhere.
Can I ask a question? Since the new year?
Oh, I mean, okay, so January 1st really was the widespread availability of the new Masters of the Universe, right? But even before that, any Walmart I was going into, pegs were filled with wave 1.
That's really surprising because when you got me into this line, got me to actually go and buy it, I went to Walmart's and they were cleared out around me.
Yeah, well, here in Rochester, you can't go into a Walmart now without seeing pegs filled of Masters of the Universe.
That's awesome.
But it's all wave 1.
Right.
So, as you know, Wave 2, we had to get online. But the majority of Wave 2 was readily available for like a couple weeks, and then it just kind of disappeared. And I was lucky enough to snag all of them but Manny Faces. But I have all of Wave 2.
You know what's funny about that Manny Faces is he's the one that was always, I saw most of the time available online. Him and Orko. I got Orko easy, but Manny Faces kept coming in and out a lot more than the other Scareglow and Trapjaw, right? Then, as I'm trying to, as I thought maybe they would come more readily available, all of a sudden Walmart had their prices at $35 a piece. And I was like writing Walmart every day, like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
This
it's
is your
really,
own
I don't
line.
understand it. Because again, at least with Wave 1, you go in there and they're everywhere. So for me, I was like, well, okay, I wasn't able to get Manny Faces easily because again, it kept going in and out and I just always missed it. I was like, with the way things are going, Wave 2 is going to be in stores in no time and I'll be able to just pick up Manny Faces. And so January hits and now Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, all online shops, Amazon, every place like that, GameStops, specialty stores, comic book shops, and Targets now have Masters of the Universe. But what I'm seeing is that Wave 2 is just sort of like, well, that was cool. You were lucky if you got them, but here's Wave 3. And I walked into a Target and I bought all of Wave 3.
Now, which one? Who's it at? Merman Wave? What is that?
It's Zodak,
Yes.
Roboto, She-Ra, Merman, Panther, Battle Damage Skeletor, and Battle Damage He-Man.
You got the flocked Panther?
No, Flock is a Walmart exclusive, so I'm probably never going to get Flocked Panther, but I did get the regular Panther. But yeah, it was so weird. I just walked in and there they were. And I just, okay, this is it. Wave 3, I'm done. But nothing Wave 2. And I'm seeing going on the He-Man boards and things like that and He-Man Instagrams and whatnot. Nobody has Wave 2 unless they were lucky enough somehow to score it when Amazon and Walmart.com had them up for like a couple weeks and that's it. And I'm wondering what the fudge happened, it's so bizarre.
It's like, so what I noticed, because I order most of my stuff off Entertainment Earth, and when that dropped on New Year's Eve in the day, I mean, I was buying them at like 12:30 a.m. No joke. And all of them, so, but the release dates on them are funny. So it just is like, I don't know, because what I don't understand is Walmart must have just put so much stock into certain stores and that was it. And then the online, I don't trust Walmart to begin with for pre-orders or online ordering. So
Yeah.
they're never really reliable. So their online stock, I can understand kind of being like fluctuating it the way it did, but you're right. But maybe what was produced went out to stores in certain regions. And now they're like, oh, shoot, we really have to make these again. And they're going to come in later, because when I look at, say, Trapjaw and Manny Faces, they're coming in February on Entertainment Earth, which makes sense. But then you look at like He-Man and Skeletor from Wave 1, you can't get them until May.
Which is weird because they're in Walmart all over the place and Target.
Yep.
I went to 2 Targets today and there's their He-Man section. You know what I mean? Like, it's there, but zero Wave 2. So I feel very fortunate when that Walmart thing went up to be able to get Trapjaw, Orko and Scareglow when I did, because I honestly just figured, oh great, Wave 2 is here and it's coming,
It's funny because one would be in stock, and I'm like, I'm not paying shipping on this one thing. I'm not paying half the price to ship it to my house.
Yeah.
What can I put in my cart? So here I am, like, I've got like things sitting in my cart that I need just in case one of them comes in stock and I can ship to my house. But it never worked out. It was like, or I would be like, oh, here's Manny Faces. Why is Trapjaw not? And then Manny Face would go out of stock and Trapjaw would be in stock. It was so stupid. So.
Yeah, it's really weird. And I'm wondering if, like, I feel like at least with Walmart, I feel like they're gonna be putting those He-Man, those Wave 1 figures in like the clearance, like soon, and there's gonna be a shit ton of them. I'm serious. Like, you wouldn't even believe how many He-Man are out there on the shelves now. Like, and not only on the pegs, but if you look up, they're in boxes. There's just tons of Wave 1. Like, Mattel, they weren't lying. This stuff is out there now. I'm seeing Battle Cats and I'm seeing Sky Sleds, and then at Target, I'm seeing the Wave 3 stuff with some of Wave 1 and Panther in addition to Battle Cat and Sky Sled. It's so bizarre. And then so I ended up, because like you, on the 1st of January, when they went online everywhere, I went to a Big Bad Toy Store and I put all of those in my pre-orders. And then I walked into a Target and was like, well, shit, they're right here. So, but I still have Stratos, Hordak, Ram Man, and I think, and Triclops still on pre-order through Big Bad Toy Stores, and they say February.
Let me mention this too. There are some figures that are on Big Bad that are not on Entertainment Earth. It was really odd, like Mosquitor, I believe. The ones you just mentioned, a lot of those are not on Entertainment Earth as well. So I was just kind of like, why is the distribution kind of screwed up? I pre-ordered Great Skull again from Big Bad Toy Store just in case Walmart fell through.
Yeah.
And they're not selling Gray Skull on Entertainment Earth.
Oh, really?
No. And I would buy everything from Entertainment Earth because they're affiliate with my website. So, I get a little bit of kickback. So I'm always happy to buy from there. But it was just really confusing when they don't have the full stock. So I'm buying from both stores.
Yeah.
Very weird. Very weird. I do love that land shark though. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to be interesting to see how the rollout continues, and this is just the first month,
Yeah.
I wonder. I hope that Wave 2 gets out there so people can get them.
I would say that maybe COVID had a lot to do with shipping and delays, because a lot of my other figures and stuff in relation to that
I could
were
see
affected.
that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to look at it, except for it looks like the mass stock for Series 2 will be hitting in February, which is a good sign. So I mean,
I wonder if Target will do Wave 4 as the other stores are going Wave 2. Interesting, because I wouldn't be surprised if I'm able to pick up a land shark at a Target. Oh, and Target are going to have the exclusive Keldor
yes,
2-pack.
Kronos.
Yeah, and I bet I'll just be able to walk in and grab that.
Let me know.
I will. I mean, I'm always keeping my eyes out. Certainly now that I know that they're out there, available. So.
Yeah, those exclusives are the ones that I'm most concerned about, because I know that Mattel is going to mass produce everything else, and since we already have everything on order, it's that flocked Panther, it's that exclusive Target. It's just like, it's going to be a battle, but I also like the hunt, but the hunt's kind of been screwed up for me out here.
I feel like I'm probably. I feel like I'm probably that's just going to be a loss for me. Is the Flock Panther? I don't feel it in my bones that I'm going to be able to grab one, and I definitely don't want to pay. I don't want to overpay for it.
No.
But yeah, I mean these guys are pretty dope, and the new She-Ra is actually, I love how they, they originized
Yes.
the original look. You know what I mean? So
I was telling my wife about that because it was one of her favorite figures growing up, and she's like, I was like, they're making one just like it used to be, and I'm going to buy you one for your office.
yeah, that's
So.
great. But yeah, it's nice and posable, and it's got some nice, cloth pieces,
Soft goods.
soft goods. But I love how this is so reminiscent. It's it's dope. It's a good figure. This line, I just am in love with this line. Like, I think it's exactly what, and we were fine with them back then. I certainly was growing up with the He-Man toys back then. I didn't care, but now as an adult to be able to have basically what you had as a kid, but the modern articulation is what we wanted. We wanted to be able to make those super poses and shit while we're playing, and I just think they really, knocked it out of the park with this line. I'm very, very pleased. I mean, this is Zodak, man. This is Zodak, but now he can move. Now he can move and shit. He doesn't just go like that.
Where's his Mobius chair?
But he looks. I mean, they did such a good job.
Well, that's the thing. The paint apps just really delivered for me because they do pay attention to how the old toys looked, but they do bring them into more of a modern, modern style, while keeping that vintage look. It's beautiful. Yeah.
His back hair sculpted in there.
That is attention to detail.
Yeah. That's just, I love this line. I really do.
I'm also a big fan of the artwork.
Oh yeah.
On the vehicles. I forget who is it. Axel Jimenez. I forget who does it, but it's like it's just
Alex Jimenez.
Yes, just beautiful. That was one of my favorite toys growing up was Roboto. He was one of my most prevalent ones that I play with all the time. I took him to the beach, and he forever had sand inside him.
Oh.
So yeah, it was really rough. I tried to oil him, but
yeah, they kept the same stick.
Yeah. Now my question will be this: will Stinkor smell when he comes?
I hope so. I really hope so.
Will Mossman be mossy?
Oh,
will that be a variant?
Probably.
Will he look exactly like Beastman? I hope so.
Yeah, I just am so happy with these. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm just really excited because the onslaught of what they released on the first was what we waited for, and it was perfect. But what's next? It's what's next?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I for one am like, oh, here, look at this.
Oh, Battle Armor Skeletor.
Yeah,
that's a cool one.
You can
man.
still like.
Oh, it does move. It does that, right?
Yep.
I was like, it better.
Yep. And he comes with another head. This is the original.
Oh, he's a deluxe figure, right?
Yeah, this is the original Skeletor head, and the other one he's more pissed off. But this is from like old school Skeletor. And
yeah.
Like that with the He-Man, you get the original He-Man head with the new He-Man head.
I saw that on a promo for it, and I was like, are they going to use that head for all the He-Man? But it's an alternate head.
Yeah.
That's great. You put that on the other He-Man. I liked the update, but I also was like, well, it doesn't look like the OG He-Man. But
yeah, I moved it. I switched it.
I think I will too. It's funny, these Mondo toys, they come with the Mattel heads as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I love that. I thought that was a really cool feature. So
but yeah, so not only are we getting the origins, but from what I hear, we are also getting sort of we're going to be getting specialty variants of the more kid friendly version of the cartoon that's coming to Netflix.
okay.
The more stylized look cartoon. We're going to be getting, I guess, little caricatures of those for like the younger crowd, like the,
Quote unquote for them.
Yeah.
And also me and you.
But what I'm stoked about is the Revelations figures.
Yes.
Which are going to be the 6-inch highly detailed and articulated versions of the anime continuation of the He-Man cartoon that Kevin Smith is the showrunner of.
Now, let me ask a question about that line. Are they, oops, I'm going to almost turn on the video there. Are they, shoot, my bad. Sorry. I was going to look up something about those toys. Let me ask you a question about that, because is it just going to be Revelations, or are they going to do more with that line?
I think it's just Revelations, but what's cool is that line will continue. So you're going to get the initial, whatever it is, 6 figures and a play thing or whatever, a vehicle or whatever. And then as the show continues, you will get Revelations versions of all the characters. So
that's, yeah.
You'll have your Origins Merman and you'll have a Revelations Merman,
Yeah, I mean, I'll get them all. I won't even lie to myself or any of you out there, or even you, Chris. But
no,
we'll be doing a show where we'll be like, look at these.
I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm excited because I'd like to see something other than what they've done with classics, and paying all these homages. I mean, yes, Revelations is a continuation of the original show, and they will look like those characters, of course. But like you said, getting a new line of adult collector figures is, and maybe one that will continue longer than the ones that they've had without interruption, which has always been my complaint, will be amazing. And just have them at retail like that is a much different monster than the online pre-orders that we were subject to in the past.
Yeah. I mean, I know at first they probably are going to be real hard to get. So my
scalpators out there.
Oh yeah, my this is going to be something that I won't hesitate to pre-order. Mm-hmm. That entire Revelations line, I will pre-order them like as soon as they go up, and not hesitate, because I don't want to miss out. I just don't want to. I don't want to deal with the shit that we're probably going to be dealing with this line, because I have a feeling that these cartoons are going to be super popular and are going to bring in a ton more fans, and everyone's going to want those collectibles. So my hope is that Mattel sticks to their guns and really, makes these products available as much as possible. So speaking of the cartoons, I wanted to ask your sort of, what is your anticipation level? What do you want to see from both? Because honestly, right now I'm on board for both, but I don't know what the kid friendly show is going to be, and if it will appeal to me personally. But I know for a fact that Revelations is 100% going to be for me. And I am going to soak that up. But I don't want to like poo-poo the other one, because there's been plenty of, I mean, look what they did with She-Ra and Voltron
Exactly.
on Netflix, and they're good. Those are good shows.
Is the new He-Man DreamWorks animation?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know. Like, I mean, if you go and you look online at some of the designs, it's, I don't know. It's an odd, they look almost stylized CG,
Yes.
you know? So I just, I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly, more content. I will never complain. And like you said, bringing in these new fans and building a new generation of masters lovers is the end goal. So I, of course, will watch both. I have, I just went back and did a full marathon of the Filmation shows, and then we're going to do a marathon of the 2000 show. And as long as you don't do Thundercats Roar with with any show, it's just like, come on. I get it, but
I don't get it.
I know, right? Actually,
I don't
I'm being too nice.
I cannot believe that they did that. It's very bizarre. I don't, unless they completely were like, you know what, let's fuck the old school, fuck the old fans. They went out for the new fans to try to get people on board to a Thundercats thing. Which, if that's the case, okay, but come on, this is Thundercats. You know what I mean? The bread and butter right now off the bat is going to be us 40-somethings who grew up with Thundercats. Like, why alienate the original fan base when they could try to incorporate the new and the old?
Yes.
And that's something I think they failed at, because I didn't know anybody our age who looked at that and was like, this is great. This is exactly what Thundercats needs.
It.
Yeah.
Come on. This isn't a Thundercats show, but come on, you had an anime that was amazing and that people loved.
Oh, the new show in 2011.
So no excuses, and that's why I'm really excited for Revelations, because of I think it's Powerhouse Creative or whatever it was that does like Castlevania, and then they do their own shows, and
they have
a couple
that new
other
one, The Blood of Zeus or something.
Yes, I have not watched that yet. I need to do that.
We've watched 4 episodes and they're really good. I mean, the animation is so great. It's so great. So,
and it's Mexime too. That's a Mexican animation company that's doing. It's not Japanimation, so it's even more amazing. Outside of that wheelhouse, and I love it. And I really excited.
What's great is that most of that group are huge He-Man fans.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited. I'm so happy that this is the year that we're gonna get it finally.
I do have a question, because when I rewatched, and anybody watches the original show, it's very standalone, a lot of the episodes, and it's and not a lot of, like, I know questions are kind of out there of what happened, and I know they can build stories, but there isn't a whole lot either to go off of. So I think it's really exciting, because I'm wondering where and what they'll pick to continue.
When they said, when it was announced that it was going to be a continuation from the original show, I was like, because it wasn't like a serialized thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't like there was no arc.
Right.
There were arcs, like, part 1, part 2s type situations, but there wasn't like a from season to season, thing where you were really following this one long story. So it is interesting. I'm sure they like went through and like said, okay, this is a story that connects to this, which is a story, you know what I mean? I'm sure they had to go through and say, this is what we're continuing from, you know. Because
Absolutely.
there
Absolutely.
isn't a there's not like a cliffhanger. There's not like a, well, everything is hunky dory and we did this and this is how it is, and it's, you know, it wasn't like that. And those guys back then, Filmation wasn't thinking like that. This was a kid's cartoon, you know.
Right. Even though you're great writers, and when you watch the ones by like Paul Dini or JMS or the ones that, you know, have become great, you know, continue to be great writers and do great things, like when it was introduced that Tila was going to be the sorceress one day, right? That was placed, and that never went anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's one, definitely, you know, that's happening.
Well, those writers really tried to elevate what they were doing.
Exactly.
And Filmation is like, you know, hey guys, this is, you know, 5-year-olds are watching this.
Let's send Skeletor to the circus.
So, and I think that was like that with all the animation that those guys were working on. You know, it's just like they did what they could to try to elevate the material so that 10-year-olds could also enjoy it, you know, in addition to the 5-year-old, 4-year-olds or 5-year-olds. And that's cool. That's fine. But it is going to be interesting how they sort of, I wonder if it's just going to be the overall theme of what the original show was, and that's what they're continuing from. I don't know. But it's exciting. It's exciting to think about that and to speculate.
Right. And what happens after these episodes? I mean, are they going to be, let me put it this way. So they go, what is it, 6 episodes or something like that? It's very limited, right? The first,
it is limited.
So it's like, do they just do these standalones instead of one big arc where they just finish stories? This is my big question. And then what about after, like if it does well, are they gonna make more? So you can't really have a cap. You can't have like Skeletor getting killed by He-Man or whatever they want to do, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be you know, interesting to discover.
Yeah.
Because I
Tie
wouldn't,
in, you know, Princess of Power and stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised if it, you know, if they're like, well, they want a second one, you know, like they want more, you know, and then we can bring in like the Horde, and unless they already have a plan to bring in the Horde, which I'm really hoping for.
Yeah, I would love to see modern take on that Horde. I liked the Horde kind of in the new one. I actually liked Hordak more or less, and some of the plot points from that. But when you go back, it's just it's such a difference, and I just want to see how that all turns out.
Yeah, it'll be sweet.
Would you, let me ask you this about the kids one, even if it's different animation and whatnot from the She-Ra series, would you want to see them connect them somehow? Or do you think that could happen?
No, I think that let that be its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think, and if it turns out like, as far as, you know, I'm turning 44 this year. So me as a 44-year-old man sitting down and watching this show, if it appeals to me as a 44-year-old, great. But even if it doesn't, it's nothing but good for the franchise as a whole. Because if this kicks off for the kids who are enjoying it,
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to do exactly what Mattel hopes it's going to do.
Right.
Which is further this franchise, grow this franchise for everybody. I have something inside me, man. I really think these are going to be really successful.
Is it the power of Grayskull?
It is the power of Grayskull. Yes, the sorceress is in me. She's tickling my insides, and she's filling me with hope.
And all the fancies, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. You know, I remember initially when there was just like rumblings about a Masters show coming. And at that time, I thought, okay, I bet it's going to connect to the She-Ra show. You know, I bet they're going to do that. And then it kind of blew that away when PowerCon did the whole, hey, guess what? Kevin Smith and this group of people and these people are coming and they're doing this. And it was like, oh, okay, so they're doing something completely different. But I remember at the time certainly being like, oh, that's going to be real fun, connecting He-Man with She-Ra, and doing it the other way around this time. And
Right.
But, they didn't do that. But I'm really hoping that, if it's successful, that now we can like bring in this new Revelation style She-Ra world and all that stuff and continue that way. That would be fun.
And that's the key. I mean, that goes back to us talking about the action figures. Like, if there's something for everyone, that's how that franchise is going to do great. Because we're going to buy all of it, but then you got kids buying it, adult collectors buying the other stuff. It's awesome. Let me ask you this, because the Masters movie has been in production hell and limbo forever, right? And can never pick up traction. Will this? And the answer is, of course, yes. But how do you feel about the movie actually happening after this stuff comes out?
I mean, if anything, it's an incentive for them to light the fire and get their asses going on it. I'm sure that Mattel and Sony are constantly in cahoots and trying to figure this out and sort of looking at the marketplace and really studying this, because let's face it, I mean, Sony has put so much money into it already, just with all the drafts, all the directors connected, all the writers connected. They hired that dude who has been, off and on training because they've said, hey, we're going to go. Oh, wait, let's take a break. Hey, we're going to go, like.
Noah Centano, or
yeah.
I was a little confused or concerned actually when he was cast in the Black Adam movie. I was like, well, there goes Masters.
Yeah.
But no, I'm still working on it.
He is. Yeah, he did say he's still working on it. I mean, it's I don't know. Like, if anything, my hope is that they're not sort of relying on the cartoons, because I feel like, don't make us wait even more, like just have a start date and go, if anything, like, strike while the stuff is happening, so that going into, like, let's say late 2022, you release a movie and Masters has already had this fire going from the cartoon being on Netflix, from the influx of the toys and everything. Then 2022, hit us with this movie, this live action movie. If it stays on Netflix, I'm okay with that, because Netflix has shown that it's a fucking force to be reckoned with. And these big movies are premiering on Netflix and they're getting huge numbers, So if you're paying out that studio already up front, if you're saying, hey, dude, listen, we have the Masters thing, we've got the cartoons, we have Sony on board to do the movie, we're going to pay Sony X amount of money, so they'll get their budget that they spent to make the movie, and then 75 million households get to watch the He-Man movie. It's a win-win, I think, for Mattel. Whereas if you release it in theaters wide, it's a crapshoot. You just don't know. It could make $36 million opening weekend. You know what I mean? And that would be a terrible thing if you're spending $150 to $200 million on a movie like this. Right,
exactly. And I feel like since everything's getting smaller and more event series are happening, where it's like 3 hours, 4 hours, or whatever, maybe something like this would work better as that. Really flesh it out more than a 2-hour movie. because there is a lot to really digest. And that's always been my feeling with a lot of things, whether it's you do a TV show instead of a movie. And now they're putting more and more money on behind these series, especially with not being able to go to theaters in some areas and whatnot. So this dual release, which I've always been a fan of, I love going to theater, but there's also movies I don't go to the theater to see. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of in favor sometimes maybe just doing an event series for something this epic.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, man. They could very well say, you know what, we're gonna turn this movie into a show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
A special limited thing on Netflix after the cartoons and stuff. Or they go forward with it. You know, I don't know, but either way, I'm on.
We win.
Yeah, man, I'm ready. Like, the more masters, the better. Motu party, man.
That's right.
So,
That's what I always, man. It's just it was my first love in the geek world, and it's just that impact it made makes it, just shows how special it is. So I'm really excited for more, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting time, and unfortunately, just like what we just went through, we got a pandemic to deal with, and I think, listen, it's not just fans, it's everybody, it's the world, it's these studios, these actors, these writers, everyone is dealing with shit, and they're doing the best that they can in a crazy situation. So I hope that, as things get better around the world, as the vaccine is rolled out more and more, I'm hoping that the geek scene, the geek world, is sort of rewarded. I guess not rewarded, but you know what I mean. Like, we're gonna be able to see more and do more this year, at least the second half of the year, I believe, to where things are gonna start getting back to semi new normal, and the things that we've been waiting for, and the things that the studios have been waiting for to happen, and we end the year on a high note with not just this property, but a lot of things that, all of us are really looking forward to. And with any luck, going into next year, things will be really smooth sailing, and I don't know. It's weird all over, but I thank all the things that are available at the time to entertain us in this weird time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's trivial. It's trivial. Listen, it's trivial because it's all like cartoons, toys, movies, it's entertainment stuff. But this is the stuff at the moment that is making us happy, putting smiles on our faces, sort of relieving the tensions and the stresses. And in addition, yeah, you can go outside, you can exercise, you can get all that. That's great. That's, be healthy, which is great, which is what everyone should be doing. But for, some people, like the geek community, the mental stress is relieved a lot by this type of entertainment. So the more the merrier, bring it on. And like I said, as things start to cool out, even out, the country, the world, the more the merrier. I just, bring it on. We're ready. We're and I think in the time that we've had, people have been doing a great job, so.
Well, that's the thing. I think what a lot of people have learned is you can't take anything for granted.
No,
like you said, when we can go back to these shows, when you and I can go to PowerCon as we have planned, and when we do that, those kind of things are going to be even more special. And I think it's just going to be that extra energy is going to go into everything, and everybody's going to take that extra step. These companies for the fans,
the
actors and whatnot for the fans, and the fans vice versa, because we're going to just eat up everything they're giving us. Yes, You're right that they're doing their very best to entertain us. You know, we've got Marvel back finally. We've been enjoying Star Wars on TV. Things that, because of this, have grown and they've realized work really well outside of the movie theater. So
Yeah.
comics, everything that we can eat up now just to stop from going crazy. It's been a blessing. So
Yeah, I do appreciate it. It's been, you know, a saving grace for sure, and they realize that. And I think that, you know, listen, regardless of the pandemic, the times are changing, man. Like, the entertainment landscape has shown that we don't need some of the things that we used to have. And I love going to the movies.
Mhm.
I love going to the movies. But man, if the pandemic has shown us anything, people eat up the streaming, you know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the world of movies goes forward after this. There's going to be theaters, but I think some of these bigger chains are probably they might go away.
oh yeah, absolutely. I wanted to ask you, in your home theater, which must be awesome these days, can you stream to it on your projector and stuff like that? You hook
Oh
up the
yeah.
laptop and everything. It's just
Well,
whatever, right?
I have Roku.
Okay.
I have a 4K Roku. Because I have a 4K projector, but you hook everything up to the receiver.
Mhm.
So you just get yourself a kick-ass receiver that can take Dolby Atmos and 4K and all that stuff, and it's got all those ports in it, and you hook the projector up to the main port, and then you can have all that. So I've been streaming, you know, not only do we have the 4K player, but I've been streaming all 4K shit from the Roku, and it's beautiful. It's, you know.
So when Luke Skywalker sliced up all those dark troopers, you saw it on the big screen, did you
I was
not?
watching it.
Ah,
I was watching it in my home theater for sure.
ah,
When I watched, you know, Wonder Woman 84, I watched it 4K on the streaming
that's awesome.
on the big screen. Unfortunately, it wasn't good, but
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, so there's, you know, there's certainly, not everybody has that luxury, but for me, certainly it isn't a big as a deal as it was. But for instance, let's say, you know, Godzilla versus Kong is coming, and HBO Max and Warner's has that incredible thing going on where you can stream or go to the theater at the same time. Do I want to go see Kong versus Godzilla in the IMAX?
Of course.
Yeah, damn right I do. However, if I can watch it at home on my 120-inch 4K screen with some homies, you know, chilling, eat whatever I want, I'm gonna do that. Now, if it were different times, and if the theaters were open, and you could have a packed IMAX, and you could have that fan interaction and that energy,
Yeah.
that's gonna win out. That's gonna win out. But let's say The Conjuring 3, all right,
Right.
which is Warner's as well.
Yep.
I'm watching that at home. I don't need to go to the theater to watch Conjuring 3. Dune, that's a different story. Listen, Dune is coming out in October, and I think some of the theaters will be better than
Praying.
And I'm gonna go see Dune in an IMAX, whatever the cost.
Denis Villeneuve, anything anything by him needs to be seen in that format, no doubt. When they were announced him for Dune, I just freaked out. It was
Like if at this particular time, if they said, okay, you know, Star Wars Rogue Squadrons is coming to Max and theater, I'm going to the theater. I really am. Even if it's just 6 people in the theater that they allow, I'm gonna go because Star Wars is a big screen experience, and I need to have that.
Mhm.
But
blame you.
if it's not these huge event movies or anything like that,
I've been saying that for a long time, man. Like theaters struggle, and like these movies, they try to like you're paying as much to see some movies as a blockbuster. When they came up with that idea to stagger ticket pricing, I was like, do it. I was always a proponent for doing this both release home and movie release or theater release because the whole streaming thing has taken off beyond belief, and why
and
not have
clearly
that
it's
option? I paid
clearly
$30.
clearly it works.
Yes.
Clearly it works, and I mean, all of the streaming services has seen a giant bump in subscriptions. I mean, it's millions upon millions of people are streaming.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. It is the way that it's going to go, and it's going to be a pick and choose thing for sure.
Yep.
So, but right now, I'm pretty content with being able to just go down into the basement and watch these new movies in the comfort of my own home, and specifically with HBO Max, because I'm only paying $15 a month. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
It's win, man. It's win.
So much winning.
Yeah. But listen, I'm not gonna lie. I certainly would love, just because of the idea of it and the fantasy of it has always been there. Like, man, I wish they would make a new Masters of the Universe movie that I could go to the theaters and watch. So, but clearly it looks like we've got some time, and I have a feeling we will be able to go to a theater to see the Masters of the Universe movie if it's a theatrical release.
There you go.
If it's not, then it's not, and we just watch it at home.
Agreed.
But we'll see. It's whatever. It's an exciting time nonetheless, and I'm happy to be talking about all this geek stuff with you, Mr. Chris Walk, and I look forward to our Eternian visits with one another for us to rap waxotic about our love of Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we're doing this. It's something I love to talk about, and I don't get to talk about it with many people because it's I don't know why. So, honestly, I think it's funny. It's that time period. There's people who are a few years younger than me that have no idea, like we're never into it, and that's that very small time period of the release and the phenomenon of it all.
Yeah, it's but I have, I've talked to like somebody. Okay, so you're 40.
Yep.
Okay.
Just turned 40. Yep.
Okay, so I have this friend Chad, right? And honestly, even that dude Pixel Dan,
Yeah.
who's like 30 something. He's like 36 or 37 or something like that. You kind of question. Yeah, and I did bring that up to like Chad, because Chad is like 37. And I'm like, where did it come from? Because at that time, when those guys were like 6, Masters was gone. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting to get that perspective and to see how far reaching it was, because it could be, well, it was straggling in the market and you were getting it for 50 cents. You were in a bin, or your older brother, your older cousin, your older sister, what have you, passed down these toys to you, and then you had those toys, and that was the case with like Chad, who he wasn't there when it was initially happening. You know what I mean? I mean, he was little, but come on, you aren't cognizant and playing in your brain until like 4 or 5 years old. So by the time this dude was 6 years old, it was like 1990. Masters was dead in 87. After that movie came out, it was just gone. And like, so it's very interesting. It's interesting to see how these younger folk connected to Masters when it was almost extinct, you know?
Right, because we had the luxury of having it burned into our brains at a very young age.
Yeah. And listen, they certainly had reruns. I mean, Masters was rerunning all over the place several times a day, every day. So they did have it. I'm just thinking about, I guess, the toys and the merchandise and things like that.
Right.
Because it was dead. It was gone.
Probably Adventures of He-Man fans, anyhow. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I mean, really, a lot of these people are those fans, and it wasn't for me. But
yeah, I mean, I never watched it.
It's just interesting, and it's cool, because it's so many different people, so many age groups are to this line, and it's cool
exactly
to hear from different age groups and their perspectives and their memories, and that's fun. It's interesting. It's just interesting to me.
I'm never putting down anybody's fandom. It's just that question.
No. Yeah, I never,
exactly.
When I asked them, I wasn't being a dick. I was just like, I'm curious, because I know for me, 89, I definitely wasn't. This He-Man was just gone.
Mm-hmm. That was Batman time.
Yeah, Toy Biz Batman, man. Toy Biz Batman was happening. So Ghostbusters 2, I don't know, it was interesting. And I remember, and I think we've talked about this, but I remember sitting in the theaters watching Ghostbusters 2, and when they said, "Who are you gonna call?" and all the kids go, "He-Man." I was like, I didn't call it He-Man. What? What are you kids, man? You in some third world country and you finally getting He-Man? I don't know. He-Man wasn't a thing in 89, believe me.
Withdrawal issues.
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting, but fun and awesome. And Masters is back, and it's all great and warm and cuddly feelings. And my God, 40 years of it's your age. You're as old as He-Man.
That's it right there.
The legacy of Chris Walk and He-Man are intertwined forever.
It's why I grew this beard.
That's right, to show your He-manliness.
That's right.
Actually, yeah, you gotta. Ooh, you just trim that a little bit, and you can totally be a Fisto.
Oh yes, the Fisto beard. I was hoping more like Eldor over here. That's
Eldor.
Yeah.
The hood.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll wear the hoodie over the earphones when I do these podcasts, and it's just the beard comes out of the hoodie very, very interesting because I shape it that way.
Oh man, well, this was good. This was a good talk, my friend, and we will be doing this again.
Excellent.
And hopefully, Mr. Bowker will be joining us. We'll get some Chad action on there. We'll try to get some Ben Scrivens on there because he too is a big He-Man fan here in Rochester. Maybe I'll put the word out. Maybe we'll get some more He-Man fans to join us on these Zoom episodes.
Let's do it.
It'd be great. And man, we have plenty to talk about in this coming year. So I look forward to going down that Eternian road with you, Chris. And this was a good episode. And thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe and tell your friends, tell your other He-Man fan friends who may want to listen to a couple of 40-somethings talk about He-Man and their memories. Let's get this Eternian community going. Let's do it, guys. What say you, Chris Walk?
Let's all have the power.
That's right. Inclusivity. We all can have the power. Just like the Force. The Force is everywhere. It binds us.
It surrounds us.
Yes. The Eternian power can also do the same, folks. So
penetrates us like the sorceress penetrates you. That's it.
Yes. Like Chitara penetrates me. All right, this is Chris the Pervert saying we'll see you on another episode. Goodbye, Chris Walk. Thank you for being my co-host. And we'll see you guys. Bye.